Alrighty then, thank you for coming back to watch more Katawa Shoujo. We ran into problems last episode, as you can see, ran into problems. Alright, let's get right back into the text. The second floor hallway is a carbon copy of the third floor one. Wide, of course, and plain like, still that creepy picture. Like only hallways can be. The problem is that the library's whereabouts are not as easily determined as one would think. The classrooms are marked with signs stating the class they belong to, but then there's a plethora of other unmarked rooms. Is the library one of them, or is it just somewhere down the hall? I bet on the latter and choose my direction at random. After I turn around the corner, an unmarked door draws my attention because it's not closed. It's not open either, though, just barely ajar so that I can see it's open and nothing else. It would make sense for the library door to be invitingly open, and while this one is not quite that, it's good enough. At the very least, it means that someone is inside and I can ask for directions, no matter how embarrassing that is. I gingerly push to the center of the door with my fingertips, every muscle in my arm ready to pull back at any moment. Blah, blah, blah. Crap. The feeling of being an outsider to this school can't be shaken from my mind, so much so that I instinctively fear doing something wrong by entering. The door slowly creaks as if groaning from a deep sleep, though it's much easier to open than I anticipated. Leaning over, I poked my head even further inside to gain sight of the room as fast as possible, with the meek "hello" on my lips as quickly snatched away. Aw, she's sitting there. This is not as I was expecting. I mindlessly let the door open to its full extent, taking the sight of the solitary figure taking center stage at the otherwise abandoned room. The situation steals my voice, leaving me standing at the doorway staring at a beautiful girl. Evidently, having taken her time to assess the situation, the girl gently puts down her teacup and opens her eyes, but doesn't look at me. Hello there. May I help you? Staring directly in front of herself, the movement of her lips seems to break the silence rather than the words. However, it's the soft, measured voice that reminds me that she's being separate from the room itself. Not only is she likely the tallest girl I've ever laid eyes on, but even amongst the foreigners I've met, she's strikingly distinct. Man, I can't read today. Hi. Sorry for introducing. Good lord! Intruding. I was just kind of lost. She takes a moment to formulate a response before speaking. Every action she takes feels as if it's carefully choreographed beforehand. Care to take a seat? Unexpectedly, considering that I'm intruding upon her. Thanks. I slowly step forward towards another seat opposite her, the girl resting the teacup and saucer on the wooden table in between. The way she doesn't track any movements with her head is telling that, and the slight cloudiness of her eyes means she must be at least partially blind like Kenji. Come to think of it, her voice doesn't have any detectable accent either. I guess she must be half Japanese. As I take my seat, her composure takes me slightly off guard. Her air of relaxed confidence makes the silence entirely comfortable. The calming atmosphere is so different from the student council office, where I lost at risk. I take it you're a new student from Yamaku. Good lord. Yeah, I just transferred in yesterday. I guess I'm more nervous than he is reading all this stuff. Can't read right today. I get the distinct feeling my speech pattern doesn't match the formality of hers. Just a bow of greeting. One which I hastened, good lord, sorry about this, guys, to match before realizing the futility of the action. I'm Lilly Satoru. Lilly Sato. Sato. Pleased to meet you. Hiseo Nakai. She gives a nod before gesturing roughly in the direction of her teacup. Would you care for a drink? Sure. As much as it pains me, I can't keep steps with her formality in the proceedings. She gives a kind nod, taking the request in stride. Without another word, she steps off her chair and prepares a second cup of tea from a collection of supplies laid out along the shelf. A brush here, a brush there, her left hand often lightly touching the side of whichever container she's pouring into. It seems to be a process she's followed dozens of times before. As I lean sideways to see around her back, she seems to use her long, dainty fingers to measure the right amount of water in the cup. It's one thing to see the different disabilities the students in the class have, but it's quite another to see how everyone seems to adapt. Shizune and Misha have no problem working together to communicate with me, and Lilly herself seems to have workarounds for problems I'd never thought of. While I feel slightly guilty about her doing the work, she seems pleased to follow the correct process of the offerer preparing the drink. So, her soft voice brings me out of my silent observance. Which room were you looking for? It's not often this classroom is visited after school. The school library. Shizune and some classmates told me it was on this floor. She finished pouring water into the teacup. As she nods, a small metallic tapping comes from the teacup, indicating it's being stirred. I'm aware of Miss Hakamichi, as are most students. To be with them means you're in class 3-3, no? That's right, in the science room with Muto. She gives a small giggle before setting down the teaspoon and slowly walking towards the table, teacup and saucer in hand. She's quite a character. I'll imagine you'll come to like him most. He's quite a character. Snap Mate. As she sets down the tea, I gently take it up and have a sip. I'm really more of a coffee person, but it seems like a rather bad moment to bring that up. Especially since she just prepared it. She said that first. Nonetheless, the smell's quite nice. I hardly think it'd be hard to choke it down. Choke it down? Pfft. Man, really hates tea. Thanks, Sato. It tastes really nice. She smiles and quickly waves a hand in front of her face. Lilly, please, there's no need to be formal. She says this in spite of her exceedingly well-bred speech. Oh well. I guess I should try to ask her about herself, as it really does seem as if she's catering to me. So, which class are you from? I imagine it's one of the third-year classes? Correct. I'm in class 3-2, which is on the third floor, same as yours. It's taught by Miyagi, and is specifically for both blind and partially blind students. I see. Sorry. I'd make that mistake all the time. I feel like slapping myself for the for the faux pass looking at her face, though she doesn't seem in the least bit put off by it. My, there's no need to change your speech on my account. Sure. Sorry. I guess I'm really showing my nervousness here. Sweat driblet. An environment like this would be a big change, so I can't fault you for it. Well, the same can't be said for everyone may have come to terms with their condition. A category which would include her, it seems. All too ready to jump ship from this particular topic, I segue into another. Did you come here to drink tea often? It's really nice. Do you come here often? Thinking on it, this might be her version of the place behind my school that I like to have lunch at. I come here fairly often during lunch times. My duty as class representative don't leave enough time for an official club, so a friend I use this room for having tea. Class representative, huh? Compared to Shizune, her mannerisms seem to be almost completely opposite. While Shizune is blunt and fiercely driven, Lilly seems relaxed and calm, almost aloof. Come to think of it, she might be useful for a less biased view on the school's clubs. What kind of clubs are there to join? The more popular ones are the track and field club, which use the field near the school during lunchtimes, the baseball club and the book club in the room near the library. There's also numerous small ones too, though, such as the art and music club. At the time when I'm just wanting to get off my feet, rushing into a club right away seems slightly unappealing. I wonder if this school shares the same rules as my old one. rule. It is compulsory to join a club. No, is it compulsory to join a club? It isn't, though it is encouraged. Yeah, good. That's a relief. I've really let down my guard around this girl to let such a thing slip out. The fact seems to slightly amuse her. Look at her smiling. She's adorable. Not wanting my tea to get cold, I finally start drinking it as Lily does the same. As I look over the window over her shoulder, I notice the light coming in the room is distinctly orange tint. Even here, time doesn't stand still. Huh? Time's gone quickly. Sorry? Right, she's blind. Of course she can't see the sun setting. It just looks like the sun's starting to set. It seems to come up as a surprise for her. I guess she must have lost track of time. Sorry, Hiseo. I didn't mean to keep you from the library for so long. I quickly move an alley to allay her concern. Ah, no, it's okay. The library's still open, isn't it? She pauses, takes a moment to think on it. It's probably something I should have asked Shizune when I had the chance. But Lily seems likely to know in any case. True, it's open until 6:30 during weekdays. A quick glance at my watch confirms I have well enough time to get there. I might get going in that case. It's been nice talking with you, Lily. She smiles and gives a deep nod, her hands still neatly folded on the table in front of her. It was my pleasure. Oh, come to think of it, shall I show you where the library is? I couldn't possibly ask for any more help. I should be able to find it all right. Well, unless my navigation skills fail me. Totally will. Which they seem to have a habit of doing. Told ya! See? It's alright. I was going to be talking to the librarian there in case I could introduce you. This gets better and better. It's pretty hard to deny her offer. If you're sure, then that'd be great. Thanks. As she stands up to follow me, she takes hold of a straight retractable cane that has been slipped in the handle of her handbag for her beauty makes me so I can't read. Compared to the cane the boy in my class had, Lily's looks much thinner and longer. This must be for support, whereas Lily's is for navigation. Together we leave the peaceful room and enter the empty hallway of the way of the library. Yeah, that face! Side by side, my pace carefully slowed to match hers. We slowly walk through the hallway. It doesn't take long for us to arrive at the door to a warm-looking room, apparently situated at the center of the floor rather than either wing. Ladies first. She gives an appreciative smile at the gesture, taking the lead as we file in. To the left is a wooden library counter, with library proper being on the right. It easily dwarfs my old school's library, with the distinct smell of old books giving the place an almost old-world air. There doesn't seem to be a lot of students here, considering the time. It isn't a big surprise. Everyone's probably either in school grounds or the dorms. Yuko, are you there? Are you here? She says into the thin air, as librarian doesn't seem to be present, and of course, Lily can't see this. What's unexpected is that it draws a reaction. Something from under the counter thuds against it, following by a quiet wail. Aww. Look at the librarian. The origin, apparently the librarian, quickly crawls out and bounces up in extremely rigid attention. Hi, Lily. How can I help you? Her voice is strained in the failing attempt to sound casual as she's rubbing the back of her head. Good afternoon. What happened just now? I heard a strange sound. It's nothing. I just hit my head. See, I dropped an eraser onto my desk, and while I was looking for it, a pencil dropped, and when I was looking for both of them, you came and surprised me. Are you alright? I'm sorry. I couldn't know. It's okay. It's okay. Sorry for making you worry. This is nothing. I've had worse happen to me. She's quick to reverse Lily's apologies, almost frantically trying to push her aside the possibility that she could be in any way inconvenienced by bashing her head on the counter. Yes, worse things have happened. The girl fidgets with her fingers as Lily doesn't seem to drop her concerned expression, and then she shuffles some papers around the counter for no reason. A little shorter than Lily, replete with glasses, freckles, and a very troubled look, she seems to fit a librarian perfectly. Ugh, sorry. Lily, did you get my message? Message? Oh, the 2 important books that arrived? Right, they finally came. I can't believe it took so long, but... Amidst her celebrations, partially from managing to change the topic, I'm sure she notices me from the corner of her eye and freezes on the spot when she does. Oh, no, I'm sorry for not noticing you before. Did you need to check out a book or return one? I'm sorry. The way she can so quickly shift between moods is a little unsettling. She's with me, He's with me, Yuko. This is Hiseo, a new student. Hiseo, this is Yuko, the school librarian. Pleased to meet you. Hiseo, right? Hiseo. Pleased to meet you, too. Hiseo. For a second, she visibly attempts to engrave the name on her mind so she won't forget. Yuko often arranges import foreign books in Braille for me. Good lord, my reading skills. Would you like to tell Hiseo a little something about the library? Lily's innocent suggestion is met with an expression of abject terror. Please, Lily, I can't. I don't know what he could be interested in. This is too much responsibility. How's it any responsibility at all? I don't get it. But her objection is so sincere, I don't doubt for a second that she would rather disembowel herself on the spot than tell me where the light novels are. Okay, so with disemboweling, we'll go a couple more lines, and then we'll stop the episode. But, so there are a lot of books in Braille here. I attempt to save the day by asking the first question that pops into my head. It seems to work, at least partially, as Yuko seems to not exactly relax, but at least look slightly less tense. Well, I think about the 3rd or 4th of Yamaku's library is either in Braille or audio. Okay, so now that we know it's in audio and Braille, now we'll stop the episode because I never really know where to stop. Because it's just one giant novel, but we'll stop here. Like and favorite if you enjoy, subscribe. Tell me what you think of the characters. Yuko is not my favorite. I like Lily though. So let's just see where things go. And I hope to see you in the next episode. And as always, have a good night. Bye-bye.